Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Ang Thong, Thailand. We're probably about 2 hours north of Bangkok or so, about 45 minutes to an hour north of Ayutthaya. And what I came over here to do today is to check out a cool looking temple. I've been wanting to get over here for a while, so today I decided to come up here and take a look at it. We're going to take a look at Wat Sang Kratai, I think is how you say it. This is an old ancient Ayutthaya temple, and it's quite cool looking from the pictures, so we're going to take a look at it. It was built probably around 1450 or so. A pagoda was built 20 years later in about 1470, and then a third building or third room on this building was built in 1550, and it was abandoned like a lot of these temples after the second fall of Ayutthaya to the Burmese. So what's cool about it is we'll see some sacred trees to the Thais, and we'll see what this building looks like. This is the temple. This is the reason I came over here. And I really like seeing stuff like this. So what's cool about it is it has Bodhi trees that have grown into the walls and actually support the building itself. The trees have been dedicated a national treasure. They estimate them to be like 400 or 500 years old or so. And it's what's supporting the building. Without the trees, the walls would fall down. And you can see the wood that's kind of decayed up across the top. And they've wrapped the little streamers around the Bodhi trees up there. Check out how they come up, just right here, and then they grow right up into the wall. It really does tell you that nature finds a way. No matter what, the nature will overgrow stuff like this. And I've seen a couple temples like this in Ayutthaya, and then there's one over west of Bangkok in Samut Sakhon that's quite cool also, that's very similar to this. But the building itself there is just a small little ordination hall, while this is quite a bit bigger. And you can see some of the old wood in the windows. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the Buddha images that are inside when we go in there. But check that out. And then you can see kind of the roof that's up there. There's just barely any wood left. That tree has completely overtaken this corner. And right next to the temple, the normal stuff that you see at all these temples, some snacks, lottery sales, and they also have like a little data thing over here talking about how they estimated the age of this temple. They used some carbon-14 dating on the wood, and they also did some tests on the bricks. I guess they can talk about, or they can figure out what year the bricks were built by the release of heat that's out of them. I don't know much about that process, but they say the bricks were made in this area. They also found some pottery shards that there's like a huge kiln area up by Singbury, and they say some of the pottery was made there, and that was Ayutthaya era. And they also have some that they found that were from China. They said the quality from China was quite a bit better than the Thai pottery shards, which was correct for the era that they were made. But here's the entrance, and we'll go in here and we'll take a look at this. But it's way cool. All four corners have these huge Bodhi trees. But over here's the little data talking about it. They also used some of the nails. They found some of the nails that were used in the construction, and the little amulets and stuff like that, and they tested all of those. That's how they got the estimate of being around 1450 for the first building. So you can see how the walls were constructed, and there is just a little bit of plaster left on some of the parts of the base. Right here it's cracked, and then this plaster was added later on to kind of give it the old look. You can see how the walls kind of bowed out, and then a little bit of the wood that's still up there. And then it has this Buddha image here. And you can see how they've kind of supported that wood ceiling right there above it to keep it from collapsing onto the Buddha. And then you can see from the inside here, it looks just the same. It's just a mess of roots and branches. Oh, it's fantastic though. And then this is a hall. I think this one here was the one that was built in about 1550. And then there's a story about these three Buddha images. So these are not the originals. The originals was moved into another temple, but these are kind of important images to the Thais. There was some talk about how they restored them, and the locals doubted their authenticity and stuff like that, but I'm not going to get into that. It's just kind of cool seeing all three of them sitting here. Yeah, so how cool is this looking? You got the big one and then the two seated Buddhas right next to it. And then they have the little shrine here in the front. And then that Bodhi tree is taking over that corner. And there's some missing bricks and stuff like that. And you can see a couple of the wood beams across. So this little hall here looks like it had 4 windows. And it's quite a bit different styling than you'll see. I think it's similar to like a couple, like there's one in Singbury that's kind of similar to this, but most of the time you see these as individual buildings, while here they have 3 rooms built all together, which is quite cool. And just amazing that these tree branches growing up, and these here growing right here in the middle also. And then some of the old wooden beams up there. And let's go over and let's look at that third little room. But it had quite a bit of plaster. You can see how much it had here on this wall. But check out that root right there, going right through, right over the top of the door, right underneath those bricks. Okay, let's go into that third room, the newest room of them all. And they have a little shrine built right over here. And it's what the ladies will do. I think they come over and they pray for like fertility and good health and stuff like that. You can see the ladies' dresses. So this is the fourth corner here. And this Bodhi tree has completely overtaken it also. And part of the door frame is broken. And they have a little shrine here also. Now this is to another guy. He wasn't a monk. He was kind of, the Thais will say he's kind of like a wizard, that he could, that he had some magic and stuff like that. You can see the window frames and a little bit of the plaster and stuff like that. So the Thais have built some little shrines and stuff like that here. And it's got the Naga and then this guy. This is the last building that was added onto it. So this was 1550, I believe. That's kind of the estimate of it. And it's probably in like the worst shape out of all of them. You can kind of see how this wall is about to come down right here. But it's still quite cool to see all these tree roots. And just start to overtake the window, everything else. And then part of the roof right there. Okay, so that's all of this in here. I found a little temple cat running around here. What do you think, kitty? Pretty demanding for some attention. Yeah, that's just the spot, right, kitty? Yeah, the cat runs around here in the little courtyard, getting people to scratch it. And then you can see right around the base of this wall right here. So that definitely looks like Ayutthaya styling. It has just a little tiny bit of the plaster that's left. Yeah, this is quite cool. And there's that guy in there. That's going to finish up our video over here at Wat Sang Kratai. This is a really cool little building. It's just kind of over here by itself. It's out of the way. It's not a place where the tourists normally go, so you know, you'll come over here, it'll just be the Thais coming over here to pray and make merit and all of that. This is a registered landmark. It's like the 104th registered landmark in central Thailand by the Thai government. And it's cool. It's worth half hour of your time. Come over here, check it out, take a look at it. Pictures alone is worth a short little drive over here if you're in Ang Thong. I mean, it's north of Ayutthaya, so there's no real way to get over here unless you have like private transportation or you want to hire a taxi or a van to take you around. It's just one of those things that if you're in the area you can get over here to it, but it's not like worth a special trip or whatever, unless you just really want to come over and take some pictures. It's cool. It's 1450-ish to 1550. It's been abandoned for a couple hundred years after the fall of Ayutthaya. So what you see is just an old abandoned ruin. And anyway, if you like the video, make sure you smash like. And if you have any questions about it, ask me in a comment down below. If you've been here, tell me what you think of it. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. This is what I do. I show you things that I see and tell you a little bit about what I know. I like to go see things that are kind of off the beaten path. So that's what brought me over here today. So if you like it, subscribe, stick around, and you're notified when I post a new video. And until next time, from Ang Thong, remember, life is a journey. Enjoy.